Hi guys. This moment we are going to study chapter 9, which is all about money, a topic that we probably all love. So let's get into the PowerPoint presentation and we'll run through the chapter together. So as in any presentation, they always start with these 3 questions for the Becoming a Master Student book. And we have to ask ourselves some questions. Whenever we learn something new, we ask ourselves questions like why, what is it, how come, what happens if this happens, and things like that. So the why question is, why are we learning about money? Is because money can stop being a barrier to getting what you want from school in your life. Money can be a barrier. And why do we want to learn about it? So it can stop being a barrier. Money will not buy happiness. You've heard that before, but it does buy opportunities for experiences and enjoyment of certain things. So what you really need to consider, I want you to spend some time doing this week is, and you know what, and consistently over your life, you need to consider what you want your life to look like. Do you want to drive around in a Lamborghini, or is a 2010 Toyota Camry good for you? And it doesn't matter. It's completely up to you what you prefer to drive. It's just how you want to live your life. What kind of lifestyle do you want? Do you want to go eat at the finest restaurants and not worry about how much the bill's going to cost and buy the $100 champagne or whatever? Or are you okay with eating at McDonald's 3 times a week? Again, that's your choice, and that's the beauty of it. But you have to think about what you want, who you are and what you want, so that you work backwards. You think about how you want your lifestyle to be, and then you say, how do I get that money to supply that kind of lifestyle? If it's the Lamborghini and whatever, and okay, you want to be an actor or musician or basketball player or whatever it is that's going to bring you that money, a CEO, an entrepreneur, then you have to figure out what kind of education and experience you're going to need to get there. And from that education and experience, or how much money you're going to need to have to live that lifestyle, and then what type of position or job you're going to need to have to supply you those funds, and then what type of education or experience you're going to need to get that job. So you kind of work from top down. Normally we think, okay, we're going to go to college, then we're going to get a good job, and then we're going to have the lifestyle we want. And we work that way, but it actually needs to be worked the opposite way. Okay, hope that made sense. Anyways, money. Please skim the chapter. Find 3 different new techniques that you would like to try this week. As you get older and you go into college, you're going to be getting probably grants and funds and much more money in the bank that you're going to have to manage. And so we need to learn how to manage it. What if you could adopt those habits that would free you from money worries for the rest of your life? Worrying about money is a really tough thing, and especially when it comes down to paying your necessity bills like lights and gas and heat and things like that. So really important to be able to cover those basic needs. If you go back to that Maslow's hierarchy, you remember that triangle I believe I showed you? On the bottom level, it does show the basic needs, which is to have a roof over your head. And the next one is to feel safe. And money does help supply those basic needs, and so it's very important not to have to worry about that. And when you don't have to worry about the money, your time can be spent on other things, personal growth. And then once you get into the level where you feel you've grown personally, I don't think you ever stop growing personally, but once you reach a level of fulfillment, then you can start giving back to others. So, it's all a process. Okay, the power process, which is the first article in the chapter, talks about risk being a fool. So please do review that and answer this question to yourself. Make sure you write some notes and summarize an incident where you made a fool of yourself. And then you don't have to share it with anybody, but just think about it and not so much to beat yourself up on being a fool, but what you learned out of it. Okay, because I believe there's always like a silver lining. We're not put through things, or we don't go through things without learning something good from it. So, making more money. You do not have to have an education to make a lot of money. You don't. But I can tell you that it will open a lot more doors for you. So, and there will be a lot more opportunities to make money. And so, and you'll find out who you really are when you are exposed to different things. So education, I firmly believe in it. I made a great income before I even had my high school diploma, because I think I shared with you I was a high school dropout. So I was working in the mortgage industry and I made a great income, but I wasn't fulfilled. And education has allowed me to fulfill what I want to do. It's allowed me to learn who I am and what I love, and allowed me to do that and make twice as much money. So I am a firm believer in education. You need to consider financial aid. Even if you don't think you're going to get anything because maybe your parents make too much money, please fill out your FAFSA, because you may be pleasantly surprised that it could even just pay your tuition. Work while you're in school. If you can get a job at the school, I think that is one of the key things that is very cool. And because schools are very flexible, because they are in the business of education, and so they want to see you succeed and become educated, because they know how that affects society as a whole. If you can't work at the college or university, then find somewhere that's going to support you, and be supportive of your education. You could start your own business. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. I mean, the terminology of a gig economy, but that's where we're at right now with all these different ways that people are making money, doing small little jobs, or just jobs here and there. And so that's a very interesting concept. And maybe some of you are entrepreneurs at heart, like myself, and you want to start your own business. Do your best at every job. I can tell you hands down that is going to move you up the ladder so much, is your attitude towards your work, no matter what the work is. If you can't have a good attitude with the work that you're doing, you need to go find something else, because it only hurts you and the employer if you aren't doing your best and you don't care. So don't put yourself through it. Don't put them through it. Just go find yourself something better that's going to fulfill you. And be a lifetime learner. You will never stop learning unless you want to. So there's tons of things to explore in life. It's like a buffet, like a Vegas buffet. Okay, so spending less money. I did go back and I looked at the big ticket versus the small ticket items, and I remembered what they were explaining when it came to that. When they talk about big ticket items, they're talking about like rent and car payments. And so when you think about, let's say you're going to go to college and you're going to the university, and if you want to live in your own apartment, it might cost you $1,200 a month. Or you could split it with maybe 3 or 4 roommates and pay a lot less. $400 to $800 a month. So that's considered a big ticket item, and you really have to consider how you want to live. In the resources for Chapter 9, I put a link to a video by Dave Ramsey. He's one of my favorite financial guys. He lays it straight out for you, exactly about finances and how to save and how to get out of debt. And he talks about, one of his sayings is that, you know what, you just need to suffer now to be able to live better later. And so think about that when you're in college. You may not want to get the $1,000 iPhone. Just get something that makes calls and texts right now, and spend some money on a computer, a laptop or something, what you need. And then when you do that, you'll be able to have what you want later on and not have those financial worries. Okay? Always get your student discounts. Be a really frugal shopper. Don't just go buying the best thing, or not the best thing, but the most expensive without doing your shopping around. Find the best price out there. Beware of quality. It's not always the best to get the cheapest, because it could break and then you got to buy another one. So do consider that. Look at your eating and drinking habits. Eating out can be very expensive. Food is one of the most expensive bills that you can have. It's one of the places that you can save the most, but you do want to eat healthy too. Lower your phone bills. Cell phone bills blow my mind how much we pay for that. Hundreds of dollars a month. So just get the best deal out there that you can. Go green, pay cash, postpone purchases. You know, if you don't have to buy something right now, try to hold off on it. I mean, enjoy your life and get things once in a while, but, you know, really consider if you need them right now or not. Notice how much you spend on fun. It really is a good idea to go back, and once you get your bank accounts, if you don't have one already, look back on where you spend your money. You would be probably surprised. The envelope system is an excellent system to use for your finances. What you do is you get an envelope for each one of the categories, for rent, for groceries, for gas, for car payment. You get paid, you put your money in the envelope, how much you need to spend on each one, and once that money runs out, that money is out for that category. Okay? It is a good system. It's also, Dave Ramsey teaches that as well. Don't compete with big spenders. If there's people out there that are just blowing their money and it looks really nice to be able to do that, it is not worth getting into debt over. And just live within your means. You will be much happier to have some money in the bank. You will feel much more secure and competent when you do that, rather than just blowing money all over the place. Prepare for emergencies and reduce debt. Have that emergency fund. $1,000 is a good amount to have in that. Spend less and feel the power. It is very powerful to be able to manage your money. Okay, so one way is spend less money, another is to make more money, right? When you balance those two out, it's a good thing. Managing your money during the tough times. These are all types of, you can pause it here if you like and take a look at this, but these are all strategies that you can do to manage your money during the hard times. Okay? Take charge of your credit. Credit cards. I think I touched on this on our meeting on Tuesday. They're bad news. Only maybe get one just to help you maybe establish credit and utilize it by paying it off every month. Once you pay it off within that 30 days, they don't charge you interest. And so you could consider it as part of your monthly budgeting strategy to use it and pay it off. When you use it to buy big ticket items, phones and electronics and furniture and things like that, it can really be easy to get into debt. And that 20 to 30, it's usually about 26-28% interest rate until you establish your credit, and then you can usually get a little bit lower interest rate on credit cards. But once you owe money and you're only paying the minimum, it's like you will never pay it off. So please be wary of that. Be wary of monthly fees, annual fees to have a credit card, and late fees. If you are late, they sock it to you. So please watch out for that. The other thing on credit cards I do want to mention, or credit, would be your credit report. And I'm going to stop this video now. I'm going to start the second one because they only run up to 15 minutes. And we'll start talking about credit report on the next one.